Welcome to part one of the USS Voyager build-up. This is a kit made by Revell, and it's a 1/657 scale model. And as you can most probably see by the box there, it's just over 50 centimeters in length once it's fully built. This is part of a series that I'm going to be doing, just as I did with the DS9 station. There are 4 models in this range that you can buy. So we've got the USS Voyager, we've also got the Marquis Fighter, there is also the Kazon Fighter, you've also got the Kazon Torpedo, which I shall hopefully be able to purchase fairly soon. They are still readily available, so it shouldn't be too difficult picking one of those up. So they're the 4 main ships from the series that you can buy. There are another 2 out there that are resin kits that are capable of being lit up, and that's the Equinox and the Rhode Island. They're both resin kits, and hopefully if I can I will buy those as well at some point down the line, just to add to the collection for the Voyager series. So it's only going to be 4 or 6 ships that I build for this series. As usual, this one is going to have all the lights working on the inside, the navigation lights, the anti-collision lights, the warp engines, etc. I've also got the photo etch kit for this as well, so that should hopefully add a little bit more detail to it. I'm also going to be trying to detail the ship a little bit more as well. There are some ribs that are missing off the ship in various locations, which I will try to add to the ship as well. So what we do is we'll get the ship out of the box so we can have a little look at this, see what side we can go in. I have actually tried to build this kit before. Unfortunately it did beat me before. I had a nasty accident with a very sharp knife and nearly amputated my own finger with it. So I do look upon this kit as being the nemesis. So these are the 2 main hull pieces. Now the good thing about this kit compared to the earlier monogram kit is the fact that the windows on the saucer section are separate. So that's going to help when it comes to doing the windows. We've also got the photo etch windows that will go into these window openings there. We've also got photo etch that replaces these parts here, so these will need to actually be removed. And we've also got photo etch windows for the ready room and the captain's room, so we'll be able to remove those as well. On first glances, sorry, I'll put my teeth back in again. First glance on this model kit, there's not too much resin on this, which is quite good. There is a little bit of a stimple there that needs to be removed, but that's okay, that should be alright. The parts that we need to try and add to this ship, if you can see these little parts here, we need to try and recreate those across the top of those parts there, and also down these points here as well. And they only come to about there. We've got I think it's about there, the USS Voyager sign goes in. I will, if possible, try to replicate the floodlight for the registry as well, if I can. I just need to look into that really and see if there's anything that we can do for that. We've also got the anti-collision lights that go at the front there, and we've got the navigation lights that go on both sides at the top there. I do believe there's also a navigation light, sorry, an anti-collision light somewhere around this area. I'm not quite sure exactly where that is, but we're going to try and do that. One of the other modifications that I'm going to try and do as well is these sections here. These should actually be rounded rather than squared off, so we're going to try and replicate those as well. This is the bottom of the ship. And again, we've got an anti-collision, sorry, a navigation light that goes on either side and an anti-collision light at the front. So we need to put those in. We've also got some photo etch that needs to go in on those windows there as well. So that should take care of that, and that's looking fairly good. There is another little stimple there that does actually need to be removed, I believe. So that's looking fairly good. And then if we go into the main bag of parts, if we can get the bag open, there we go, we're in. Okay, so in here we've got both of the engineering hull sections. As you can see, they're actually they're quite big. So again, on here we've also got the windows that need to go in there, which are supplied by the photo etch as well. We've also got the photo etch that replaces some of these parts down here as well. Some of these, again, I will actually be removing and replacing myself with other parts. I'll need to build those out of plastic. We've also got, I'm not sure whether you're going to be able to see that there, these parts here that are going to need to be sanded off as well and replaced with card just to bring those to the proper depth that they should be. And as you can see there, the sensor bands on the side of the ship, that's how they should be on the main hull of the ship, but as I say, we just need to try and get that sorted out. And again, we've got all of those windows that need to be drilled out and then filled again. So excuse me, so that's going to be good fun to do. That's going to be many hours of tedious work to do those. And again, there's hardly any flash on these. I mean, there is a little bit around the edges of the model, you know, around the seams are, but that's not too much of a problem. And then here we've got a shuttlecraft, which is just way out of scale for the ship. We've also got the interior wall for the shuttle bay, and then we've got two side walls for the shuttle bay, and then the shuttle bay rear, and then we've got both of the warp nacelles there as well. There is also some detailing around the back of the warp nacelle that needs to be done, which we will add in on those. This we're not going to use at all. That is actually part of the stand. With this, I've got the landing gear for this one. Some of it's actually still attached to the old model. So I am going to try and rescue that and put that onto this model. Now, at the moment, I'm not actually sure whether I'm going to do this as a landed diorama scene or not. But you know, I'll think about that a little bit more of the time, and you know, I get to work on the engineering section of the hull. I think it'd be quite good to actually have that on a diorama. So on this sprue, we've got the big sensor band that goes at the front. We've also got the deflector housing there with the torpedoes. We've also got some of the thruster housing there. We've got the deflector dish there. We've also got I think that's the auxiliary deflector dish that goes at the front. We've also got the two rear ends where the warp nacelles fit into. This section is the bottom, and again on this we do need to get, if possible, the anti-collision light on the bottom and also the two navigation lights. This is the top section of it, so we've got the shuttle bay that goes into this little area here. And then again we need to try and fit in the anti-collision lights and the navigation lights in on this part as well. We've also got a window that's in there as well. You do get a window in the photo etch kit for this that fits in there, so if possible we're going to try and get that to light up as well. And then on this section we've got the impulse engines that are also attached to the pylons. So that's the impulse engine there, so we're going to need to try and light those up as well. That's going to be a little bit fiddly, but you know, in for a penny, in for a pound, I say. That's one of the other sensor arrays that goes on the back, just behind the bridge section. And then that's just the little dome there for the backup deflector array. And then we've got the little sensor array parts there that go on the upper hull. And then we've got the rear section there, or the dorsal spine of the ship. We've got the two torpedoes that go in there as well. So there's quite a bit there. There's quite a bit of detail that we can actually add, and quite a bit of painting detail as well that we can do to this model, which is great. And then we've also got in this little bag, we've got the clear parts. The good thing about this one is the fact that the deflector array is actually in clear plastic, so we can actually get that to light up. What I will more than likely end up doing is actually diffusing this from the rear to help with an even glow of the light. We've also got the warp nacelle chiller grills there as well, so we just need to do those in blue. Again, with this one, as I've done with the runabout, I will put a very thin sort of coat of copper over the surface of those, just to help bring those down to, you know, a copper when they're not switched on. And then we've got the little Bassard scoops that go on the front of the ship there, and then we've just got all of the little windows on there that should go in the ship, but we're not going to be using those. As I say, we've got the photo etch kit, so I'll be using the PETG, I think it's called, either that or is PETG, but I can't remember which way around it is. But it's basically a very thin perspex that I'll be using to do that. So that's the actual ship itself. Not sure how long this one's going to take to build, to be honest, because there are a lot of windows on this kit that do need to be drilled out. So from previous experience, I think it took about a week, maybe two, just to get all the windows drilled out properly. We've also got the decals for the ship. So on here we've got all of the little lifeboats that are attached to the ship as decals, which is fantastic. That means that we don't actually have to paint those on. And the other good thing is the fact that I've also got the decals from the last build as well, because with the photo etch kit you actually get the missing lifeboats as well that were around this end of the on these ends of the ship there. So I'll be able to use a couple of those just to put on there. And then we've got some decals for the windows that give you a false perspective of rooms. Obviously I'm not going to be using those. But we've got all sorts of other little decals on there as well for different areas of the ship. So hopefully by the time they're all on, this should look pretty cool. And there are some little decals there as well for the little runabout that we're not going to be using. Yeah, there's a load of decals on there, so that should actually help with the detail of the ship as well. And then the instructions on this kit, they're pretty much standard affair for Revell, to be quite honest. So for this one, I'm not sure whether you're going to see that on camera, but they are. This instruction book is actually stapled, but it does go into the usual affair for Revell. Gives you the sprues. There's no, unlike all the other Revell builds that I've done, there are actually no sprue letters, or for these it's just the a picture of the sprues and all the components that go on them, and then it just gives you a basic guide of how to paint the model itself and what parts need what type of paint. And that's really about it. I mean, it's not what I would call a very complicated build, but obviously we've got the unknown going into that with all of the electronics that are going into this build. So again, I mean, the ship will most probably not be built in the exact order that it's asking you to build it in. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of decals that need to go on this ship, and I think that's going to be the one that takes most of the time, to be quite honest, because most of them are really, really tiny, and they're going to need to be placed quite accurately. But it's not a bad little ship. I'm happy with the quality on this one. Sorry, excuse me. So I'm going to crack on and start work on this. As soon as I've got some work done to this, I will come back to you.